Good evening, everyone. Leah Dixon here. I am popping on kind of impromptu to do my paper pumpkin video for you tonight. This kit actually arrived on, I think maybe Friday, and I've just been so busy this weekend with family visiting that I haven't had a chance to get to it. So here I am Monday night and ready to do a little bit of crafting. So I'm going to switch over to my desktop and I'll show you this amazing October kit. All right, hopefully you guys managed to snag one of these. I am so excited about this because this kit actually coordinates with the Winterly Treetops stamp set as well. So this is a stamp set from our mini catalog. It has some gorgeous dies as well. And this month's paper pumpkin coordinates with it. So let's check it out. I love the box as well. So pretty. All right, so when we open it up, we have a stamp set, and this is an amazing stamp set. It has some Christmas sentiment, so happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and joyful thoughts to you this season, as well as a cardinal, some branches, looks like maybe some cedar branches, some snow, and some little berries. So really, really beautiful stamp set. We have some extra wide tear-in tape, it looks like here, and our little shaded spruce Stampin' Spot, which is honestly, you guys, my favorite Christmas green. So then we'll unpack this. I'm just going to move the box out of the way. I see a few of you are on. If you want to pop on and say hello, I'd love to know who's with me tonight, who's maybe doing some crafting right along with me. So we've got this. Now, paper pumpkin kits, if it's your first time, it comes with a block as well. And other than that, it comes with everything you need except for a pair of scissors. So I've just grabbed my snips to be able to open up our little package here. And I'll just get in here to see what we've got. I'm already loving the fact that I can see the gorgeous Coastal Cabana or pool party little snowflakes there. So great. All right. So we've got a little bit of ribbon and some dimensionals, which is always handy. The envelopes are absolutely gorgeous. They've got a little bit of a metallic shaded spruce line around them, and then all the beautiful like decorations there. And so we've got a whole stack of those. That's awesome. How many do we get here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Wonderful. So 10 gorgeous envelopes there. Then we've got a bunch of pop-outs here. So I believe I remember reading this kit makes 5 each of 2 designs. And so, yeah, we've got 5 of these different pop-out sheets. So I'm going to keep one of them out for now so that we can create with it. All right. And then, oh, this is beautiful. Big old fancy fold here. So we've got this piece that pops out. And then we've got the gorgeous card base, just like that. That is absolutely stunning. Wow. So it's got that metallic layer on it. And then the double fold to the card. That is just beautiful. So we'll leave that piece there, and then I'm going to put the rest of these off to the side for now. Then we've got some sentiment labels here. We've got quite a few of them, actually. 12 in the kit, which means we probably have 2 extras, which is always nice. Oh, and then we have the same fun fold again, but this time in an all shaded spruce kind of style. And then, wow, that is beautiful. Oh my goodness. What a gorgeous background. And there's all metallic in the background there. So pretty. All right. So I'll put those to the side. And then underneath it all, we will find our instructions. There we go. So I do like these with the kits. We get the little piece of paper here that shows us our whole stamp set. That way, you know, if you're playing around with images and stuff and then you're not sure where it belongs, you've got a reference for what should have been with your stamp set. So nice so that you can get everything back in place. So I usually keep these together just in a little baggie, and that way I can keep using them for future projects. And then I'll just remind you as well that we do have the add-on die set. Actually, I've got mine right here. This is the Mary Tags and More. So this is an add-on piece that you can get. It's got the nice big tag, the script Mary, and then the fern. And this coordinates with our October, November, and December paper pumpkin kits. So we'll hold on to that because I'll probably use that for some of our alternatives. So our instructions here show us how to put together our 2 different cards for this paper pumpkin kit. The instructions are all in color and really, really beautiful. So let's just get started and we'll see what we come up with. I'll probably make one as is, and then we'll go ahead and do 1 or 2 alternatives. Oh, hi, Gail. Thanks for joining. Okay, so step 1 for this card is to grab this base, open it all up like this, and we're going to do some stamping onto the frame using that little pine tree piece or whatever it is. And of course, we're going to stamp that in shaded spruce because that is the color that comes with this kit. Now, I'm not going to open up my little spot. I always kind of save those. And I'm just going to use my regular big ink pad. Hi, Lila. Thanks for joining. All right, so I've got my ink pad there. And they've said to do 3 stamps at the top, 3 stamps at the bottom. So that is what we're going to do. Come on in here and stamp. Stamp. And stamp. All right. Got a little bit on my glass top. And then 3 more down over here. Stamp that. That. And that. So the actual direction you stamp those probably doesn't matter too much. I'm just going to wipe up my desktop here so I don't get shaded spruce on things I don't want it on. All right, so we've stamped that border, and then we are going to stamp our sentiment, and they are suggesting to use the Merry Christmas, the 2 images. And they're doing my favorite thing, which is they're actually putting them together on a block so that you don't have to stamp the 2 words separately. You can mount them both at the same time on your block and stamp them that way. So how I do that is I get the space I want to stamp on. And I want to put my Mary up here in this corner. There we go. And then I want to put my Christmas down below it. Might be easier actually to place my Christmas first and then put my Mary above it. Okay. And when I'm happy with how that looks on my paper, then what I'm going to do is grab my paper pumpkin block and I'm going to put it down on top of those 2 images. And now I have them on my block lined up the way I'd like them to be. So then I can put them into my ink and go ahead and stamp. There we go. And there is our image all on there. Wonderful. All right, I'm going to close up my ink now, and we're going to start putting our card together. So, first thing to do is to use that super fancy tape they gave us on the back of one of our ribbon pieces. So So let's grab the ribbon. And so, well, this is really nice thick ribbon. I love it. And let's find the end of our tear tape. So we just want a little piece of that. And it is exactly as wide as our ribbon. So that's kind of cool. We're just going to pop that right down onto our ribbon. And then we're going to peel an edge back and put this down across the back of our sentiment. So that we've just, oops, did I not do that quite right? Nope. I'm going to move it over a tiny bit. When I said center it, I actually meant center it. So don't put it off to one side or to the other. There we go. So we'll center that on the back of our sentiment. Oh, that's cute. All right, so we've got that with our little red ribbon there. And then we're going to put some dimensionals on the back of this. All right, I'm just going to move that one more time. I'm not loving how it ended up. So, there we go. One last time. Third time's a charm. All right, there we go. Now I'm happier with that. Okay, so now that that's done, we're going to put our dimensionals on there. So they gave us a little package here of dimensionals. Oh yeah, no problem, Lila. It's a little bit later your time. Have a wonderful evening. Oh, and then when you put your dimensionals on, try not to move your ribbon. There we go. And we're going to put 4 of them on here. Just like that. That's going to help hold our ribbon in place as well. All right, now we're going to peel the backings off of this. And looks like we're going to close up our card just like this. And our sentiment goes inside the frame, just like that. All right, there. And then we're going to take that greenery that I put off to the side before. I'm going to take this nice big greenery and our cardinal. And both of these are going to get dimensionals on the back as well. So 2 on our birdie. And 1, 2 on our greenery. All right, so now when we put our greenery on, we want to try not to make our card stay shut. Oops, sorry guys, I just bonked you. There we go. So I'm going to put this down just like this. I'm going to make sure that those dimensionals are inside and that I'm not covering up any of my words. But this is going to hang over the edge of our card just a tiny bit and kind of hold the card shut. All right. And then we're going to put our bird just nesting right in there on top of all of that. All right. So that is our first card all done. And so it's kind of neat how it's kind of like caught closed. And then if I did this right, yeah, I did. Good. No dimensional sticking it closed. That can open up and voila, you've got your card where you can write and everything. And to stand this up, maybe not. Maybe you can't stand it up. So I might fiddle with that design because I'm not a big fan of cards that don't stand up on their own. Let's see if it stands up when you do that. No. So that's interesting. I'm not a huge fan of cards that don't stand up. So I'm going to play around with that one and find a way to make it stand up. All right, so that is our first card all created. In fact, do you know what? I think I've got an idea. We'll play around with it for the next one. All right, so that's our first card. We'll put that off to the side. Now our second card, I believe, is going to be that same kind of design. And again, although this one goes this way, so it will stand up, but our pretty images will be kind of hidden. So as much as that's kind of a cool, like a cool card design, I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to tape this all shut and make this into like kind of like a little treat pocket. Yeah, because I don't like that that's like meant to be a card that doesn't stand. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn this into a treat pocket, which is a really simple thing to do. We're going to take either some of the tear and tape they gave us, or we're going to grab our own additional tear and tape that we've got. And I'm going to seal up the bottom of my card. Okay, so I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to do that. Okay, so now that is sealed. I could have also put a piece in there. I think I'm just going to actually put a piece along here. And actually, I'm going to cut this piece in half lengthwise. So I can save on some tape and use it on both sides. So I'm then going to come in here and seal this up, and all the way over here and seal this one up. So now we've just created a pocket. Oh, I think I wasn't supposed to. No, good. All right. So now, although I do have this crazy card that doesn't stand up, what I have is a little pocket here so that I can put like a little gift card in there, or even just throw in like a hot chocolate packet and a candy cane. And this is now like a cute little gift pocket instead of a card per se. So we've lost any spot to kind of write on, but we've gained the ability to use this as a treat packaging. So I like that. All right. Now our next one is to stamp our sentiment. And this time they've said to use that joyful thoughts to you this season. And so I'm going to grab that one. And the other one that's here, it says happy holidays. So we can really use any of them because it's all one label size. So you could just mix and match however you like it. So I'm going to grab that. And my shaded spruce ink. I'm going to get one more of our sentiments. So they actually give us 2 extra sentiment labels, which is nice because we'll be able to use those to do some alternatives here. Oops. Okay, this one looks like it's just not holding the ink as well as I'd like it to. So we're just going to kind of rub it around a bit and get it primed. It'll hold the ink a bit better. All right, now we'll give that a try. Okay, much better. There we go. So joyful thoughts to you this season. So pretty. And then we just start popping things onto the front of this. So we're going to use that tear and tape again on the back of one of these ribbons. And you don't even need very much for these ribbons because we're putting the additional adhesive on there. Oops, I had 2. I only need 1 ribbon. All right. Oops, just like that. And we'll pop this down on top. And just like that. All right, with that done, we're going to put some dimensionals on the back again. Oops. Kind of twisted my ribbon. There we go. All right. Just like that. We'll peel these off. And this goes right onto the front of our card, just centered side to side. There we go. And then we grab our little birdies. We're going to use all of our remaining pieces. So we've got that little birdie, this little birdie, and this greenery. And we're going to put all of these things onto this card front with dimensionals. So let's flip these over. So this little one gets 3. This little one gets 2. And this one gets 1. There. So we're going to take this one first with the bird and place it down in the bottom corner. And so we want to, of course, keep it on the front of the packaging, but we're going to put it down quite low. And then we're going to take our second bird and we're going to nestle him in here with his little birdie friend. All right, so just like that. Awesome. And then our other little piece of greenery, we're going to put up across the top corner of our card. Again, trying to keep it on the card, but covering up just like that. So there is our second card created. So you may have done this as a card, or you may have sealed up the bottom like I did. And now you've got the little treat pocket to put something into and send it as is. And if you wanted a spot to be able to write on it, we can also put just an extra piece of white on the back and put our little, like if you wanted to write somebody's name or something on it. That's also where our little tag die can come in, is we could cut out this tag and put that onto the back, or even slip it inside with our little gift. So that's super cute. So that is something that we can do to turn these into little gifts instead of cards. So for this one as well, you could do the same thing. And we would just have it opening on one of the sides. So we just come in and secure one edge, and then it would be like a little pocket, a little treat pocket on the other end. So I think that's, I'm going to pull this open and seal it up to make a little treat pocket that way as well. I'm just not a huge fan of cards that don't open properly. All right, so those are the 2 cards from our kit. Now we do have some extra pieces. We actually will have both of these pieces left from each of our 5 cards. So you'll actually have 5 of this and 5 of this left. So that's a lot more cards that you can be creating. And then we also will have 2 extra labels when all is said and done, because they gave us 12 labels, but we're only making 10 cards if we follow the card kit design as is. So let's see what we can create. Now they haven't left us high and dry in terms of the bird either, because they've actually given us a bird image as one of our stamps. So we can stamp cardinals and greenery to go on to our other cards as well. So I'm pretty excited about that. It's a really nice option. So let's see what we can design. I'm actually just going to grab my chamois here and clean up my sentiments. I'm going to clean up, there it is. I'm going to clean up the Joyful Thoughts one that we just used and bring out our Happy Holidays one as well. I've got green ink everywhere. Oh my goodness. Don't know how that happened. All right. So I'm going to put that one away. and bring out Happy Holidays. Okay, put that on our block. There, oh, there we go. All right. So I think what we're going to do for our first card, I'm tempted just to keep the background simple and white. So we're going to grab a white background here and this beautiful shaded spruce piece that we've got. But I'm not going to leave our whole background completely white. I'm actually going to go ahead and grab that greenery piece that we had before, and I'm going to stamp some greenery around the edges of this card. So I'm going to use my shaded spruce ink for that. Actually, I should double check how many of these little red ribbons they gave us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so they only gave us 10 ribbons, so we won't have any extra ribbon. That's okay. We'll put that aside. So I'm going to grab my little pine bough here, and we're going to go ahead and stamp. And you can stamp like every which way. Just fill in the spaces, kind of do a twist and tumble as you go along the edging. And don't worry too much about how much into the card you go, because it's going to get covered up by that shaded spruce piece that we've got. There we go. Just keep going around and around. Let's see, I want that going like that. And that. All right, so we're just about done here. And then, there we go. Oh my gosh, that looks gorgeous. I love the way that looks, even without the shaded spruce piece on top. Oh my gosh. So I was thinking, and I'm still thinking we'll do that. We're going to put this piece on top of here just to create a new layer. I'm almost wondering if I want my card to go this way, though. I like kind of how the lines are going across our card. And then we're going to grab our sentiment label here and do our Happy Holidays on here. Happy Holidays. Oh, it looks like that one needs to be primed as well. All right. That's okay. Sometimes these stamps come and they've just got a little bit of a film on them. So, there we go. All right, that looks like it's going to be ready to go now. So we're going to stamp our sentiment on here. Just like that. Awesome. Okay. Now you've got that like that and that like that. So now you've got a whole bunch of options. We could grab some ribbon and put some stuff on here with our ribbon. Just tie a ribbon around and make a nice little bow and keep this really super simple. But I think what I want to do is take advantage of, there it is, that gorgeous cardinal stamp set that we got. So we're going to bring in some Memento black ink for our cardinal and some blends to color him. So he does fit on a paper pumpkin block, just a little bit wonky, but so we've got that. And then we're going to need some additional white cardstock. So I'm just going to go grab some from my scrap pile and we'll stamp him in Memento black. So here we go. I've got just a little scrap of white, and I should put the lid on my green. That's a disaster waiting. All right, move that to the side. Grab my Memento black, And we're going to ink him up. Oh, it looks like he needs to be primed as well. Okay. And the thicker the lines, the more important it is that you kind of prime these guys. Okay, that's stamping nicely now. So we're going to ink this up. So if you don't have basic white and Memento black, so basic white cardstock and Memento black ink, these are kind of what I would consider to be crafter's basics. And so you would definitely want to consider grabbing those in addition to a kit or a paper pumpkin kit. And now is actually a great time to kind of stock up on all of those basics, especially if you're just getting into crafting. We actually have our starter kit sale on right now. You get a $206 worth of product just for $135 plus your provincial taxes. And I noticed in this kit, they actually have a little piece of info here about some other tools that you may want to kind of step up your creativity. So one of them is the paper snips, because I mentioned these kits don't come with snips. A bone folder, which I just used earlier to kind of put the crease into my card. It's really good for that. And then some other tools like the take your pick tool and some of the extensions, a paper trimmer so you can score and cut cardstock. And then if you wanted to get a bit fancier, there's of course like blending brushes and heating tools and stuff like that. But definitely the snips, the bone folder, and the paper trimmer would be ones that you would want to throw into a starter kit if you're a beginning crafter, along with some white cardstock, some black ink, and then some colors that you think you might use. So I am going to grab some real red. That is real red. And I am also going to grab, well, that's Calypso Coral. Let's see here. Cajun Craze. I think that's the orange I'm going to use. I think they might have used Pumpkin Pie, but I'm going to use Cajun Craze for mine. It's just a little bit darker. So I'm going to start with my Cajun Craze on my beak. It's just a little bit more of a brownish orange, a little bit more subtle, I think. All right, so we've got that done. Now I'm going to use the paintbrush tip of my Real Red blends. Now, I do love blends. I'm not a huge coloring fan, but when it comes to coloring with blends, I am all about it because blends make you look so good. They don't leave those weird lines and streaks, and everything just looks so perfect. These are alcohol-based markers, and they do exactly what they're called. They blend together so that everything looks perfect. I love it. All right. Then you can, of course, color over certain spots to kind of darken them and make them stand out more. So now we've got these two little claws here as well. I'm just going to use my dark Cajun Craze. You could also use black for this part, just to color those in. And then I'm going to come back in with my dark Real Red. And I'm going to go over all the areas where they've kind of got accent lines and make it extra dark. And this will blend with the lighter red. If it's not blending as much as you'd like it to, you can come back in with your lighter red and help it along. So I'm just going to come back in here and do a little bit more coloring. Just make it a little more seamless. Okay, just like that. Oh my gosh, it's beautiful. All right, I've decided that I do want black claws. Was like a little weird to me, so I'm going to use my light basic black to color in those claws. And also just to come along the bottom edge here, darken that in and darken in around his beak. And there we go. All right. So there is our beautiful cardinal all ready to go. And now I am actually going to fussy cut him to put him onto our card front. So when you're fussy cutting, you want to move the paper, not your scissors. And I'm just going to zip around those. There we go. So you can leave as much or as little of a border as you would like. I'm not leaving very much of a border. I don't want to have a big white border on this guy. All right, so I've got that part done. Now I'm going to come in here. This is a little more finicky, but not bad. And then we can come down the outside in a nice long swoop. All right. So once we've got our cardinal created here, we're going to be able to pop him onto our card front with some dimensionals, just like we popped the other ones on. All right. There. And just about done. Now, if you have the Winterly Treetops stamp set, you could, of course, use any birds you wanted. You don't have to use the cardinal. You could grab any of the birds in that stamp set. And there's also like some greenery and stuff that you can grab out of here to put in the background on your card. I'm not going to do that for this card, but I wanted to just remind you that you do have this coordinating stamp set, and you could totally do that to kind of jazz this up as well. All right, so I've got my little cardinal created, and I think I'm going to pop him on right here beside. Actually, do I want him beside or do I want him on top? No, I want him beside. All right. So I'm going to pop him on here beside our sentiment, just like that. And I think we're going to put a little piece of ribbon on here as well. Not sure now which side to put him on. Maybe we'll do it like that and like that, and we'll put a little bit of greenery on here. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to grab my shaded spruce again and put just a little bit of greenery onto our card front for him to kind of be sitting on. So just kind of like that. All right, perfect. So now we're going to attach this all together. So let's grab our dimensionals. 1, 2, 3 across there. 1 on him. You could do 2 if you wanted. And I'm going to put some on the back of this as well, just to pop it up off of our card front. All right. So 5 on there. Peel these off. And, oh, come on. There we go. And there we go. Beautiful. So I've got this piece here. I'm going to center that as best I can. There. Then I'm just going to kind of lay these out again so I have a general sense of where. All right. I'm going to take my Happy Holidays and, oh, come on. Yeah. I am going to pop that on just like that. So it just hangs off the side a tiny, tiny bit. And then our cardinal, I'm going to have him sitting kind of on this branch, just slightly kind of overlapping our sentiment piece. Now, I actually might put a few more dimensionals behind there because it seems to be kind of like lifting and floating, but they're kind of smaller spots. So I'm going to use the frame here And I'm going to cut some smaller pieces to pop under there. All right. So this one, I'll just kind of pop it in there. Just like that. And then this little guy up behind his head. There we go. So that's kind of holding him in place a bit better. And there is our first alternative card created using this kit. Now, if you had some gems or something, I feel like this card probably needs some gems just because we only have a little bit of that shimmer in the border on there. So let's take a look at what we could use on here. I'm wondering if those are a green that would work with this or not. Let's test them out. No, I don't like those. All right. Well, I like them, just not with this card. All right. So let's check out these ones. The Regal Foiled. Let's see what we've got for colors in there. All right. Oh, yeah, I think that's the one. So the Regal Foiled Gems, and I'm going to grab the green ones. Now, this is where your Take a Pick tool comes in handy. Because these can be a little tricky to lift off of their packaging. And so I can grab them with the tip of my Take Your Pick tool and then really be able to get them in here and place them where I would like them. So I really like these because they're just foiled, so they don't really stand out on our card, but they're just there as like a little shimmery accent on our card. And actually, I wonder if I want just 2 more up there. All right. If you wanted something a little bit more bold, maybe grab some pearls and pop some pearls on here, and those would really pop out. All right, just like that. Fantastic. So there you go. Oh, hello. Thank you for joining. So that is our second alternative card from our October Paper Pumpkin Kit. And we still have one more gorgeous piece of paper left from the insert on our first card. So I'm just going to move this out of the way and grab that last piece. So we've got this beautiful archway with the snow falling. And then we've got an extra sentiment piece as well that we can put onto our card front. So we can figure out what we want to do with these pieces. I'm actually thinking that I might want to grab the Mary from our add-on kit and put that on here as well. So I'm going to do that actually, I think, in red or green. I think I might actually do that in red cardstock. So one more kind of fancy trick that you can do is we can use the adhesive back sheets on the back of our cardstock to make these basically into like little stickers. So I think we're going to put the word Mary there. And then, can I also fit the Christmas though? And would those go together? Maybe they wouldn't. Maybe we'll stick with Merry Christmas on our tag. Yeah, let's actually stick to that. So I'm not going to actually use that. We'll use that for something else. So I've already got my Merry Christmas somewhere on a block. There it is. Got my Merry Christmas on a block. We're going to stamp that onto our piece of, or our tag here, our label. All right. So we're going to do that. And pop this on here. Let's just try that one. One more time. There we go. All right, so we've got our Merry Christmas stamped on there. And I feel like we're going to need like a little splash of red or something on here, but I'm not totally sure yet. Not sure what we're going to put this on as well. Let's see about it on the white background. So if we do that, and the Merry Christmas, just like that. And then I think in our background, oh, it might be too busy if I stamped words in our background, so let's not do that. I'm not sure what we should do with this one. Maybe another bird, and having our bird kind of sitting perched right on top would be really nice. So we're going to take our scrap again, our Memento Black again, and we're going to create another little bird for this card front. All right, so here we go. Get him all stamped up. And there. Oh, he's so beautiful. Now we can take those same blends that we used before, and so I'm going to color in those little claws. I color in around his beak. Just kind of darken that a bit. There we go. Just like that. All right. And grab that orange again. So again, I used the light Cajun Craze, or you could use a pumpkin pie and make a bit of a brighter nose. And this time I'm actually going to color him all in dark real red. We're not going to use any light. So it's all dark, and we will kind of layer this on to create our darker spots. So when you go around the eye, try not to color the pupil of the eye. We do want to keep that white. All right, we'll come on in here. And so he's going to be really vibrant because we're not using any of the light real red. Okay. There we go. So I find coloring with blends so relaxing. It's so nice to see how the color goes on so smoothly. And then we can go back in and darken up spots. You can come back in a few times. So if you darken it and then you think, oh, it should be darker, just come on back and add some more. Just give it a little bit of time to dry in between. That way you'll see how much it does lighten, but also you won't end up getting bleeding outside of the lines because these are alcohol based, so they do take a moment to dry. Yeah, so there we go. And add in a bit more like that. So we've got some really rich colors going on there now. Such a beautiful little bird. And then we're going to cut this guy out as well. So that is one disadvantage to the birds in the paper pumpkin set. The bird in the paper pumpkin set, see, doesn't have a matching die like the birds in the Winterly Treetop set do. So if you're feeling a little lazy, you might want to grab those birds because you can die cut them. Whereas this one, we've got to come in and do our own trimming here. It's okay though. It's okay. All right. So I'll trim that off. And just like that. All right. And around we go. All right. So we've got that done. Now we can, actually before we attach this to our card, I am going to do one little bit of stamping on our card base, I think. We have one more image in our stamp set that we haven't used. I can't find our stamp set. Actually, we've got two. We haven't used our berries, but we also haven't used like the light snowfall. So I think for this one, we're going to grab that light snowfall and put that onto a block. I'm actually going to use just a smaller block for this. And then we've got a few choices. We could grab another ink and use some Pool Party to do our snow in the background. Or we could do it in green. You know what? I'm not sure which one. So since I'm not feeling super brave and running a whole card base, let's grab just an extra piece of basic white cardstock that we can put onto this card front. So it'll all layer up like this, so white on white. And then we could get an embossing folder and emboss our background with the Snowfall Sky embossing folder. So that would be one quick and easy way to do this. But I'm going to actually see what it looks like if we use stamped off shaded spruce as our snowflakes in the background. So I'm going to grab that scrap paper I had because I'm going to need somewhere to stamp off onto. And I'm just going to grab the one layer that we're stamping. So to do a second generation or stamped off snowflake, I'm going to ink it up, stamp it off, and then stamp it onto, oops, I didn't stamp that off quite well enough. All right, so actually it is just a little dark. I'm going to flip that over just because I kind of made a mistake there. All right, so ink it, stamp it, stamp it, ink it, stamp it, stamp it. So I'm doing quite a hard press when I stamp it off, and then a lighter press when I'm putting it onto my card front. And so I don't have to go everywhere with this because, of course, that layer that we've got will cover up most of this. So I'm really just having to do the outside edges and a little bit in where those rounded corners are. All right, and you can kind of twist and turn this and overlap it if you want, and all the things. There we go. So stamp off really hard and then stamp on really light. And then you could even do like a second stamp in the light if you wanted. Okay. And just like that, we'll do a few more just to fill in all the spots. There we go. So we've just created a very light kind of snow pattern in the background, and that's just using stamped off shaded spruce. So that's the ink that comes in the kit. And then we can put this layer on top of it and this layer on top of that. So we're just using some basic white cardstock to kind of add some oomph to this. And then we've got our sentiment and our little bird, and we're good to go. And again, I might add some gems to this. I might not. I might add some twine to this, but it's actually fine all on its own if you don't want to add any of those things. So if you don't have other adhesive, you can use that tear and tape adhesive that you got with your kit. Otherwise, we can glue this layer down or put dimensionals behind it. I am going to just use some liquid glue today for my layer and put this straight onto my card front. I don't want to get too many layers going on, and I'm going to use dimensionals to pop up the snow background and to pop up my cardinals. So we're just going to lay this one flat. All right, just like that. And we can get rid of this scrap paper again. So now we're going to put dimensionals on the backs of all the rest of this. So there we go. We've got that, 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 and our bird. And I've learned from the last time, one is not enough. We'll do his head, we'll do his body, and I'll get my snips and use a little piece here for his tail. There we go. So just a little strip there. Awesome. Okay, so now we can put our whole card together. Peeling all these off. There we go. So this is a really beautiful paper pumpkin kit. And so hopefully you guys grabbed yourself one. Paper pumpkin's kind of one of those funny ones where you have to order it before you kind of know what you're getting. And then there are often refills. So if you did order this, there could be refills as early as tomorrow, I believe. So we're going to put this in just slightly off to the side. There we go. And then grab our little cardinal here. So definitely make sure you're watching the refills and past kits section so that you don't miss out on your refills for this kit if you've got it and you love it, which I'm sure you will if you got it. All right, and that is our second alternative card. And like I said, we could throw some gems on here. In fact, I think I would use the same ones that I used on the last card, which was $1 million question. What were they called? They were called the Regal Foiled Adhesive Back Dots. And we've got those green ones just kind of hiding in there. So I'm going to grab those and pop those onto our card front. Now you could have some fun and play it up here with the purples and blues and pinks if you wanted. But I'm going to stick with the greens. There we go, greens and golds. So pretty. All right, so that is my second alternative card for this paper pumpkin kit. I'm going to bring back in all the cards that were created tonight. So there are my two alternative cards. And then we have the original cards. And of course, this one I kind of glued together in such a way that it created the little pocket. So it's actually more of a treat pouch than a little card. So yeah, that is our October 2024 paper pumpkin, the Nests of Christmas, which also coordinates with that winterly treetops. So that's actually, that's something I could do on this card is take the wreath piece here and actually create a little wreath to put across the top of that card. That would be absolutely gorgeous. So again, you would just stamp with black memento, and then we could color those berries with real red and color the leaves with some shaded spruce. It's getting a little bit late here for my time, so I'm not going to do that tonight, but that is definitely an alternative and something I might pop into my blog when I post these cards a little bit later. So thank you so much for joining me tonight. It's kind of an unusual time for me to be live and crafting. And if you're watching this on the replay, I hope you enjoy the 4 cards as well. Please give me a shout if you want to know more about Paper Pumpkin and how to get a hold of one. And I will see you on Wednesday with my regular 9 a.m. live. I'm going to be doing a 1 layout 3 cards video for you. So have a great night. If you do want to talk to me more about the starter kit, give me a shout. And I also have a special on right now with orders. $65 order gets you a huge PDF tutorial, and a $75 order gets you that same tutorial as well as a mystery embellishment sent out to you in the mail. All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.